For almost any popular game, there are people that have dumped tens of thousands of hours into it. They play so much that it seems like there isn't much left to do or learn, and yet they keep going. In order to play a game for such a large amount of time, you of course have to enjoy it. But is that really enough to play a game for that long? If the game was so good to you that you played it more than you slept, it must be pretty entertaining, right? What if I told you that some of the games with the most hours dumped into them are actually incredibly boring? There are three big things that can keep someone playing a game for a very long time: progression, completion, and entertainment. For example, look at Rust. Rust is a very popular survival shooter in which you try to become the most powerful player or players on a server. When one of these servers resets or wipes, it is not uncommon to see people playing for 20 plus hours in one day. People do this because they want to progress faster than their competition, and in order to get ahead, they just put in more time. Throughout these 20 plus hours, they are completing many goals like upgrading their base, getting better workbenches, or raiding their opponents. All this combined with the high stakes of losing everything and in turn wasting those 20 plus hours makes the game very entertaining. Now let's look at how a boring game keeps its players going. My example will be Hypixel Skyblock. I have a combined 1,000 hours on this game, but that's nothing compared to some of the best players, and I am nowhere near doing everything in the game. In fact, that brings up my first point. There is simply no way to do everything in the game unless the developers stop working on it altogether. This makes an endless path of progression with many small completions along the way. However, these completions seem huge in the moment because they take hundreds of hours to get to. Even though most of the game provides little to no entertainment for hundreds of hours, the huge progression and completion cycle can act as a substitute. While you are going through this progression cycle, you subconsciously feel that you are getting closer to being done with the game. In reality, you aren't a lot closer to beating the game than you were when you first started playing. If some of the endgame players seem to be catching up to the developers' speed, the developers can simply add an update that takes a ridiculously long time to complete, putting them way ahead. An example of this is the bestiary update. This update brought a level system that you progress through by killing millions upon millions of mobs. This would take years, maybe even decades to complete. All of this makes a sort of unreachable goal that players chase after. In extreme cases, it actually becomes addicting. In this video, boredom was a main topic. This word usually has some negative connotations, but in this situation, it just means the game doesn't provide entertainment in the same way as other games do. Boredom isn't necessarily a bad thing, it just shows a lack of conventional entertainment that needs to be replaced by something else. If this replacement isn't enjoyable to you, just don't play the game. That's the great thing about the progression, completion, and entertainment cycle. It can be used in so many different formats. It's just a matter of finding a game that fits you.